Hi everyone, I'm back today with another video, and today it's all about product flops and fails. So products that just didn't work for me and I don't really reach for. Obviously this is all just my opinion. I know other people might really like these products. In fact, I know people really do like these products, but for me they just didn't work. So I thought I'd just do a little video speaking about the things that were flops and fails for me. I've got some skincare and I've got some makeup. To be honest, it's mostly makeup, but I'll speak about the skincare first, just a few things. Firstly, this Revolution Pink Clay Detoxifying Mask. And to be honest, it's not really specifically this mask, it's clay mask. So I have used it quite a few times, but the more I use clay masks, the more I realise I just haven't got the skin type that needs to use it. My skin isn't oily. I don't know why I even bought this. Clay masks were just super popular for a while there and I bought into it. And to be fair, like, you put it on, your skin does feel like nice and soft afterwards, but it ultimately it's drying me out. I'm not going to reach for this anymore. And my other clay masks, I more than likely won't reach for them either. I mean, I say this, maybe I will if I feel like my skin is feeling a bit grim one day, but just a fail for me. But if you have oily skin, you might really like clay masks. But for me, no. Another skincare fail was this. The Ordinary AHA and BHA peeling solution. You've probably heard quite a lot about this. It's the one that's kind of bright red. And it is a mask, so you just kind of put it on your face, leave it on for, I think it's 10 minutes, no longer than 10 minutes. Wash it off, and then your skin's meant to be like really smooth and exfoliated. Obviously it's acids, like a chemical exfoliant. I know this product was so popular on TikTok for a while and Instagram, like everyone had it, everyone loved it. I just think it's so overhyped. Like, it was a bit harsh on my skin. I did what it said, left it on no longer than the 10 minutes, and I just felt my skin was a little bit oversensitive after that. It felt a little bit sore. Don't get me wrong, it didn't break me out terribly. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, my skin's burning, but it was a bit sensitive and I just kind of thought, oh, it's just not worth it. It's just a bit too harsh to the point where I just can't be bothered with it. I'd rather use something else. So if you're thinking of getting this, personally, I don't recommend it. Another product from The Ordinary that for me was a flop was the caffeine eye solution. I have got rid of that now, so I haven't got it with me to show you, but that one's kind of the same thin texture as that. You pop it on under your eyes and it's meant to help with the darkness, as caffeine is meant to do, but it so dried my eyes out, like they were peeling, even with an eye cream over the top, which definitely do if you're going to use it. My eyes were so dry, and it also just didn't particularly help with the darkness. I don't know if that's because the darkness I have is more just, I've got thin skin there, my eyes are quite deep set, probably like hereditary. It weren't due to like lack of sleep or anything, so it just didn't do anything for me other than dry me out, and it wasn't worth it. I mean, The Ordinary is cheap. If you feel like giving any of the products a go, it's cheap. You're not gonna, like, you know, spend loads of money and end up hating everything. But those two I didn't like. There are some products from The Ordinary that I do like though, like the hyaluronic acid is great. And then another skincare fail, in fact my last skincare fail, was this Origins Mega Mushroom Relief and Resilience Soothing Treatment Lotion. So it's kind of like a toner, and you're meant to use it if your skin's feeling like sensitive, redness, kind of needs some like soothing treatment. I don't know if I was sensitive to something in it, but it just kind of made my skin more sore, more red, just hurt a little bit in a way. And the ingredients do have, I think, if I'm reading these correctly, has a lot of like essential oils in there. Orange oil, lavender oil, patchouli oil. I don't know loads about ingredients, and some of these might be fine, but there is a lot of things like that, and I feel like, I know lavender oil isn't the best for your skin, and it's quite high up there in the ingredients, which makes me think there's probably quite a lot in there, and it did make my skin feel sensitive. So I'm not saying that's why, but it quite possibly is. So I've got like basically a full one. I've used it like twice, 3 times maybe, and it's just not for me. But I know my friend really likes that one, so obviously not everyone's the same. But yeah, I wouldn't be getting that again. So that's it for skincare fails. I didn't have many. To be honest, like, I've got quite lucky with skincare. My skin isn't oversensitive. It's quite normal to dry. A lot of things do work for me, and I I know what's going to work for me before I buy it for the most part. I normally just don't go for things for oily skin, other than obviously those clay masks, which I kept buying. I've got loads of the L'Oreal ones as well, like the charcoal one and the blemish rescue, and some of them aren't quite as dry in clay. Like the blemish one isn't that dry in, the charcoal one is quite dry, and that Revolution one is probably the driest clay mask that I have. That's why I featured that one in the video. So yeah, makeup wise, first I'm going to speak about a makeup tool. So it's this one. It's the IT Cosmetics Heavenly Looks Superstar Flawless Foundation Brush. So it's the one that's kind of in the shape of a star. I don't know if you can really see that. I have the IT Cosmetics Heavenly Looks Complexion Brush, and I absolutely love that one. Like, I couldn't do my makeup without that brush. This one, maybe it's just the fact that it didn't live up to that other one, but I just felt like I wouldn't want to spend my money on that. I've used it to apply foundation, I've used it to apply like cream products. It does the job, it's okay, but I wouldn't recommend it, so I thought I'd feature it in this. It's really pretty though, so I'm sad that it didn't work. But compared to that other one, it's just not it. So the first like actual makeup product I've got that for me just was a fail is this one, the YSL Blur Primer. I don't know, like, it's just expensive and I felt like it wasn't worth the price tag. Maybe if you've got oilier skin or like large pores, you might like it, but for me it just kind of made my makeup slip around more, and obviously it's really expensive, and it felt the same as the L'Oreal Infallible primer, which I think might have been discontinued, but it literally felt the same as that. So why would I want to be spending what, like £30 when I could spend like 10? Yeah, I'm not a fan of blur primers anyway, this like silicone-y kind of feel. Let me show you the texture. I've tried to make it work, I've used it, but obviously I've not used it that much because I don't really like it, but I have tried to make it work and it just doesn't work for me. It's pretty though, so it's featured in a few of my pictures, but I wouldn't recommend it. Then I've only got one foundation fail, which I've tried quite a lot of foundations, and to be honest, I probably could have like rooted a couple of these out because I have got some that I'm not the biggest fan of, but my biggest fail is this Bare Minerals Original Powder Foundation. I feel so sad that this didn't work for me because so many people are like obsessed with it and it looks amazing on them, but for me, maybe it's because my skin's like slightly dry, it just didn't work. And to be honest, it doesn't look that dry, it's quite a creamy powder, just made my skin look a bit like crusty, even though I really feel like it shouldn't have, and didn't give me coverage that I wanted because I do quite like a full coverage. And it does give you decent coverage, and I know it's not meant to be like super full, I just didn't like it, unfortunately. And I did use it with the brush that you're meant to use it with, which I do have, which is, to be honest, another fail, because maybe it was a brush, it's a very weird brush. I'll probably keep trying to get this to work. I might just use it on top of liquid foundations and stuff, but I wouldn't recommend it personally. I prefer a pressed powder foundation to that loose powder one, to be honest. In terms of concealer, I have one. It's another YSL product. It's the Touche Eclat Radiant Touch Concealer. It's very sheer. It's meant to kind of highlight the area as opposed to conceal completely. And I have used it like that. Like, obviously I need quite a lot of coverage from my concealer, so I've used it with another one to just kind of use it to brighten, but I feel like it's just kind of not doing enough to be worth buying. And I have mine in the shade 1, I believe. Yeah, shade 1. And that's kind of the universal shade. It's quite pinky peach, which you've just seen. I just wouldn't be buying it. I never use it. I try to make it work because it's so popular and everyone loves it, but that's how I feel about it. Throwing it on the floor kind of sums it up. I've got 2 setting powders to speak about. This one is quite controversial because all my friends really love this. The Too Faced Peach Perfect powder. I really wanted to love this as well. Like, I was so excited to try it because everyone loved it, but it just didn't really work for me. I much prefer the Too Faced Born This Way translucent powder. This one's very, very finely milled. It sets your face to be quite matte. It doesn't particularly look drying and it does set my face, but the worst thing about it is I put it on, so I've done my makeup, I want to set it, I use this powder under my eyes and it brings the darkness back. I don't understand why or how. I put the powder on, I think it's because it set it so matte that there's no like light reflecting off it and my face looks like dark again. I just wouldn't really be using it because I just reach for the other one all the time. So yeah, if you want your face to be completely set matte, and if you're like got oily skin or whatever, you might love it. And then the other loose powder that I didn't like was the Fenty Beauty one. It's in the shade Butter. It's not awful. Because I love that Too Faced one so much, this one just never gets used. Again, it's quite finely milled, not quite as fine as the Too Faced peach powder. And this one comes in shades. So the peach powder one is translucent, and this one, like I say, is in Butter, which is one of the palest shades. They have kind of colours for all skin tones. I just find that it doesn't set my face properly, but it also looks dry. I don't understand why that happens at all. Maybe it's me. It's funny because originally I was like, no, that just doesn't set my face. And then I was speaking to people at work and they were like, oh no, that one's really matte. Like, I would definitely recommend that for someone who has oily skin. And I was like, really? I mean, it does make my skin look dry, but I also just think it doesn't set my face. I just wouldn't be buying that again, unfortunately. And then blusher, I actually have 3, but one of them isn't like a proper blusher. So the first one is the Iconic Sheer Blush Cream Blusher in this little tube. Again, another product I wanted to love. I have it in this shade Cheeky Coral. It doesn't show up that much on my face, so I've tried applying it with my fingers. I've tried applying it with this It Cosmetics Star Brush. It just doesn't kind of show up enough on my skin to use. I'd rather just use a powder blush. The shade is genuinely really nice, and I wish I could get it to work. I have just squirted out far too much of that. So that's the shade, and I have just put on a lot of product. Maybe I don't put enough on, but I rub it in and like, it's gone. Can you see that? Like, is that me? Am I not putting enough on? Maybe if I tap the whole of that out, but then my face is gonna be like sticky. I just can't get it to work. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And my other blusher that I just can't really get on with is the Natasha Denona Bloom Highlighting Blush. So that's the box. It looks like this. I think it's the shade that I don't really like. It's a orangey, kind of pinky, very glowy one. I think I just don't particularly like blush that's got too much shimmer in it, and that is like pure shimmer. I'd use that as a highlighter if it wasn't too kind of dark to use as a highlighter. It would be nice on the eyes, but I've got so many eyeshadows that what is the point of keeping a blusher just to use on my eyes when I'll always forget to reach for it because I'm too busy in my palette drawer. So I never use it. I don't think it looks that nice on me. I think it might work nicer for someone with a darker skin tone than me. It's just like a blotch of pink shimmer on my face, and I don't need that. Then my other product fail in terms of blusher is this, the Benefit Dandelion Twinkle. So it's more of like a blush topper really. It's like a shimmery, no, it's not that shimmery, but like a satin kind of, you're not even going to be able to see it. It's just there, so you can kind of see it, but this is my issue. It's pointless. What is it doing to my face? I've used it as a blush topper. It doesn't really do anything because I use dewy setting sprays and stuff anyway, and I feel like it just gives that same effect when it's on the skin. I've used it as a highlighter. It's not enough. I just never use it because it's just so pointless to me. It's a bit of a fail for me. I'm glad I only got the mini. And then finally, I have this Too Faced Damn Girl mascara. So that's the applicator. It's just so chunky, it gets everywhere, it's messy, it smudges so bad. Like, it's all the way up here all the time, under here. No. Like, when you first put it on, it makes my lashes look nice. I mean, I normally get them on my lid because the brush is so big, but it does make the lashes look nice. And then, 10 minutes later, it's already starting to smudge. And I have a problem with mascara smudging at the best of times because of the shape of my eyes. But this is worse than any other mascara that I've used. It's not it. It's not. The Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara I really like. And that one does occasionally smudge, but it's nowhere near as bad as this one. And the brush is a little bit smaller, but this, it's just not good. And the formula of this is like a moussey, kind of not that liquidy formula. I know you can't really see the formula, so I don't know why I'm trying to show you, but it gives you big lashes, but at what cost? I wouldn't choose that. If you want a Too Faced mascara, definitely go for the Better Than Sex. There's a reason that one is the most popular one. Yeah, so that's all of the product flops and fails that I have to speak about today. Obviously, I do use quite a lot of makeup and skincare. I test a lot of things out, so obviously I'm going to find things that I'm just not a big fan of. It's just inevitable. Like I say, this is all just my opinion. You might love some of these, that's great. They just didn't work for me, unfortunately. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I would love you to, it means so much. And yeah, thanks, bye.